Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing my 2023 gift guide. And like many others, this is the time of the year where I'm always looking for inspiration and ideas for cool gifts for my friends and family. I've done a couple of different roundup videos throughout the year where I've talked about my favorite apparel, bags, and other things like that. So I'll include links to those in the description below, as those can kind of serve as gift guide inspiration videos as well. But for this one, I'm focusing on some of the newer items that I've been testing out as of late, as well as a couple of staples that have come up in some of those earlier videos, but that are just kind of my go-to items when I'm looking for a cool gift idea. In general, I always love the ability to introduce friends and family to things that they didn't even know existed. That's one of the fun things about being in this space, is sometimes on a trip or when I'm out and about, I'll pull something out and they're like, whoa, what is that? I didn't know that that even existed. And so it's always a fun reaction, and I love the ability to share that with the people that I care about. A lot of the gear that I'm featuring in this video was provided by Huckberry. I've been a big fan of Huckberry for many years. I still buy a lot of stuff from the site, which is why I'm always happy to talk about them and recommend them on the channel. Particularly, I love the fact that they're so focused on just kind of bringing spirit of adventure into your day-to-day and into your trip, because these things are meant to really just enable you to travel more, get out more, have a little bit of an easier time during your day-to-day. And so those are the things that I'm going to be sharing here. So hopefully there's something that's helpful for everyone. Before jumping in, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing, as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to try to organize this gift guide into a couple of different categories, and I'll include links in the description below if you want to hop around to a specific section. The first of these is going to be the tech category. I don't have a ton of items here, as I'm just not really a tech-focused channel in general, but there are a few things that I have found particularly helpful while traveling. You've probably seen me call these out in a couple of different videos, and so as far as gift ideas go, these are some of the first ones that I turn to. The first one being one of these adapters from Anker, which combines a couple of different ports into a really small form factor. This is small, but it's powerful enough to charge a laptop. It's got a USB-C port, another USB-C that can be used for a tablet, and then a USB-A as well. I like that the prongs on this collapse down to just make it a very compact, sleek form factor. I believe there's newer editions of this that have come out. I've had this one for a while now, and it is one of the things that is always in my travel bags, as it just helps me reduce the amount of chargers that I have to bring with me, which is always helpful. Then I also have a portable battery. There are so many of these on the market, but this one from Anker is my go-to. I've absolutely loved using this. It is MagSafe compatible, so it attaches magnetically to the back of my iPhone, charges my phone pretty quickly, especially considering that it's wireless. You do have a port that you can use to charge it via cable if you prefer, but one of my favorite things about this is the fact that it has a built-in stand. So it's got this little flap at the back that magnetically attaches, and then this will hold your phone in portrait or in a horizontal orientation. So when I'm on a flight and I'm watching some shows or something on my phone, this is super handy, and it'll continue to charge my phone. There are a couple of off-brand versions of this that are available that might be a little cheaper. They even have some higher capacity ones, but for me, I'm a big fan of Anker. They've always been reliable, and the smaller size of this one just really works well for when I'm trying to reduce the space and weight of my bags. I also have always loved these multi-port cables. There is a ton of these on the market as well. This one from Chiffon, I believe it's pronounced, I've had for a while. It's a little older school. It's got the USB-A side that will plug into a wall adapter or a portable battery, and then it's got USB-C, micro USB, mini USB, lightning. So it's got a nice variety of ports for what the devices that I typically carry with me. And then the last item that I have here is a portable solid state drive. I feel like any YouTube kit is not complete without this, but anybody who has delicate files that they need to have with them at any time could really benefit from having a portable hard drive like this. I'm always fascinated by how slim and compact and lightweight these from Samsung are. This one has about 1 terabyte of space. I think they have some that go up to 2 terabytes, and it's super fast. I haven't gotten into this, but I know that there are YouTubers that edit directly from the drive. That's how quick they are. And I'm starting to transition more to a physical hard drive. I have a lot of cloud services that I'm paying for, and the subscriptions start to add up. And so it's been really nice to switch over more to kind of an older school hard drive method. And so I think it's just a really useful accessory that's universal. And so if you're just looking for a really cool kind of techie focused gift idea, this is going to be a really safe and useful option. Up next, we have the everyday carry category. And these are the items that I tend to have in my pocket at any given time. I've done a couple of different videos on my setups as they've changed throughout the year. I tried to bring back some of the items that I really enjoyed using and just to provide a variety of options depending on who you might be looking for a gift for. And so first up on the EDC side, we have the wallets. We've looked at a number of great wallets this year. I continue to be impressed with how many different sort of innovations and form factors exist in the wallet space. One of the most popular for a while now has been the Ridge wallet, which is really solid. I like that it keeps your cards protected. It's very simple. It just has a slot that you can place all of your cards into, push them up, fan them out. They include these in a variety of materials, colors. They can include a money clip for cash if you want to carry some of that. They have some without it or with a couple of different styles. They also have a variety of accessories for them nowadays. But so really cool option, very, very simple and reliable. And then one of the ones that I looked at most recently was this option from Reform, which is, got this really modern rubbery material, which has been fantastic. Doesn't stretch, so it makes sure to keep your cards securely in your wallet even as it starts to age. They have a couple of different layouts, but both of them have this, magnetic closure that helps keep everything secure. You have a quick access slot on the front, and they have it in two models. One that actually has a coin pouch, which I think is really unique. I don't carry as many coins nowadays, but when I'm traveling, sometimes that's actually quite useful. If not, you could also use this for an air tag or a separate key if you're carrying something like that. And then of course you have a more classic kind of a leather card holder style wallet. I've been a big fan of Bellroy's in this category for a long time, but this year I used a couple of options from Andar, which I really, really liked. Just a little bit different as far as the layout that I'm used to. I like that this one has a more horizontal layout versus the vertical ones that some of the Bellroy ones have. It's got a really high quality leather, quick access slot. You have one other quick access slot on the back, which I tend to use for cash. And then you have a nice pull tab that allows you to pull up your cards that you don't use as regularly, fan them out, and grab whatever you need. And then another type of wallet that has recently become popular are these that have this sort of switch at the bottom that bring up all the cards and allow you to see them. It fans them out automatically for you. It's still a pretty slim form factor. It's a little more solid, not great necessarily for back pocket carry in my opinion, but there's the Secret wallet. I believe that there's an extra wallet, and this one is from Skyborn, which I featured in a video a little while back. And it does, the same thing that these other wallets do, which is provide that mechanism. You also have a couple of slots on the back for maybe the cards that you're grabbing more regularly, one on the front. You can probably use one of these for cash. And then of course the fun mechanism that works very well. It allows you to hold a variety of cards, access any of them very easily. So in that aspect, this is probably the champion as far as being able to reach whatever you want. So very cool, unique, modern sort of card holder. Lots of different options there to consider. And then up next, pens is something that I continue to have with me pretty much every day, and I'm always surprised at how much I actually end up using these. It's just, whether I'm signing at a restaurant or, there's documentation that I need to fill out, particularly on flights. It's been very helpful for customs forms. And so I tend to move back and forth between the Space Pen. This is kind of my go-to because it packs down so small, but it's durable, reliable. Can convert almost into a full-size pen. I've had a number of these over the years and they're just absolutely fantastic for travel. And then I've also gotten a little bit more into bolt action pens as they're absolutely fantastic for fidgeting, and then just a little bit nicer in my opinion. So on a normal day-to-day or in my bag, this is what I'll typically have with me. But when I'm traveling or just if I need a pocket pen, the Space Pen is the way to go. A little bit of a difference in price point. The Space Pens are fairly affordable. Bolt action pens will tend to come in a little bit more. So, something to consider depending on if the person is a pen enthusiast. And then flashlights is another one where I did even a dedicated roundup video for flashlights. A dedicated flashlight has been a very useful accessory to have when I'm walking my dog, when I'm just traveling, when I'm out at night. It's just so much easier to manage one of these flashlights versus having to juggle my phone. And the power that these output, even for such small form factors, is absolutely fantastic. So Robbie Vaughn has been a company that has a couple of the ones that I've enjoyed using the most. They're very bright, they're rechargeable via USB-C. This one here even has the ability to have a backup battery. And all these flashlights in general, including this one from Olight, which I've also enjoyed using, have these cool reversible clips that I attach to my hat if I need a makeshift headlamp. And I do like that the one from Olight has a physical button here that's just very tactile, easy to use. It uses a regular battery, it's not rechargeable like the others. But any of these are going to be a fantastic option that's in a more affordable price range if you're looking for a stocking stuffer or just something for somebody who needs a flashlight. Then on the keychain side, you know, there's a lot of great options from Orbit Key, from KeySmart. I tend to continue to come back to these sort of carabiner solutions, which, you know, I don't have that many keys, and it's really nice to be able to attach these to my bag, my belt loop. They don't take up a ton of space, and they tend to have a couple of different sort of sneaky built-in tools, which I really like. So the Night Eyes carabiner, I've mentioned in a few of my videos, is kind of my go-to, particularly if you're in a more budget price range. It's very simple, small, you can put an additional keychain on it, and that's what I tend to use. And it also has a couple of tools for such a small form factor. This is kind of an updated one from the one that I'd been using. So it's got a pry tool, it's got this serrated sort of edge with the bottle opener, it's got a little Phillips head screwdriver, and so really useful, very small. The one that I've really been enjoying as of late is this carabiner from the James brand. I've had a couple of these that I've featured in the past, and so the larger one still works great, particularly if you have a lot of keys. This one also has a bottle opener, and it just works really smoothly. It feels durable, but this one here is kind of the ideal middle ground between these. I like that the carabiner on this one, the Holcomb I believe is what it's called, is a little bit larger. This, when I put it on my belt loop, tends to be a little bit hard to get on and off. I always feel like I'm gonna tear my belt loop off. But this gives you a lot more space. It's a very reliable carabiner. And then it still provides, you know, this sort of scrape tool that can also work as a flathead screwdriver. You can potentially use this opening here as a bottle opener. That doesn't work quite as smoothly, but just really love the form factor. Durable, sleek, lightweight, and then it also includes a keychain loop here that you can use to actually hold your keys. You can take that off. So I've absolutely loved this. Pretty affordable price range as well. And then on the watch side, I'm not a huge watch enthusiast. I've, you know, featured a couple of different ones on my videos. I wanted to include this Timex collaboration with Huckberry because I have enjoyed it so much throughout the year. Such a great alternative to something like an Apple Watch that still provides a digital, easy to read interface, a couple of additional functions, a stopwatch. It's got a nice light, so I've been able to use it in the dark. And, you know, when I'm, you know, either being more athletic outside, going for a run, or when I'm dancing, this has been my go-to, as I know that it's gonna be just fine. Don't have to worry about it getting beat up. And yeah, I believe that the collaboration is going away. So if you have a chance to grab this before it's gone forever, highly recommend you check it out. And then of course, the pocket knife space. This is an area where I continue to collect pocket knives. I absolutely love them. I do use them mostly for opening boxes and such, but it's always very helpful to have one in my pocket. I constantly have friends and my wife asking, hey, can you open this up? Can you cut off this thread? So I'm always relieved when I have one with me. And there's a couple of the ones that I've enjoyed using throughout the year. First up, we have the Carter XL from the James brand as well. Opens very smoothly. It's got a really nice locking mechanism here, very secure. And I think it just looks really nice, very kind of professional looking, if a knife can look professional. And the belt clip on this is one of my favorites because it doesn't really ruin your pants as much. It works very smoothly. And then on the budget side, you have the Gerber Dime, which is one of the most popular multi-tools, and it packs a big punch for its size. And if you don't need like a full-fledged knife, this is actually really fantastic. It's got a bottle opener. It's got a pair of scissors that come out, which work really nicely. It's got a little blade that can still get the job done, particularly if opening packages is the main thing you're doing. It's got some spring-loaded pliers that can also work quite well. So again, a lot of functionality for such a small little tool. And then the last one that is the newest and the one that I have been absolutely loving is this pocket knife from Giant Mouse, which is a company I've been hearing a lot about recently in the everyday carry space. And I can see why. Like when you hold this knife, it just feels on another level for many of the ones that I've used. It just looks fantastic, very clean, minimal. The smoothness of the ball bearing is very different from any of the ones that I've used. It's just effortless. And I really like the opening that it has here to make it very easy to just flick it out. And it's got a nice pocket clip. so that you can access it. It's not just flying around in your pocket. And this has, you know, just a steel that feels like it's gonna stay sharp for a long time. It's got this really nice handle. The size on this is fantastic. It's not overwhelmingly big or small. It doesn't look too crazy if you pull this out in public. And so it's just a perfectly balanced knife in my opinion. I absolutely love the colors, the feel of it, and for now it is currently the one that I reach for the most when I'm heading out for my day-to-day. Apparel, in my opinion, can be a tricky area to give gifts as there's so many different styles that people have. The sizing can be tricky to nail, but there are a few items that I've really enjoyed using over the year, and particular for travel. These are the types of things that help me travel more minimally, depending on the environment that I'm going into, and could be a cool thing to introduce to somebody if you're trying to get them to try a new type of fashion or just a new type of fabric. And so diving in, first and foremost, if you watch any sort of travel or EDC channel, you'll probably have heard of merino wool, which is kind of a magic fabric for travel, as it is moisture wicking, temperature regulating, anti-odor, easy to wash, doesn't wrinkle if you have it, you know, really packed out, and you can wear these clothes for a number of days without having to wash them. That's really the biggest benefit, is when you're traveling, you can take much less stuff when you employ merino wool. Not all merino is created equally. There are some more affordable options, but it can tend to be a little bit pricier just due to the versatility of the fabric, and particularly if you want something a little softer that's not gonna feel scratchy, that can tend to be more expensive. And I've been a big fan of the Proof merino shirts that I've had a chance to test out. They blend merino with nylon to give it a little bit of a softer, more comfortable feel, also add some durability and flexibility to them. Right now what I have here is their long sleeve merino Henley. I'm a big fan of Henley shirts in general because I feel like you can dress them up, you can dress them down. I love that they have these snap buttons to just make it easier to actually close this up if you want to wear it all the way to the top, protect your neck a little bit. The long sleeve Henley is particularly useful when I'm traveling on a flight. It'll help me stay a little bit warmer. It can be good for layering, or it just looks a little bit nicer when you're going out, particularly in a slightly darker gray like this one. And so, yeah, I've had a great experience with Proof's merino clothing. This is another great sort of staple piece that I can add to my collection and will just allow me to travel with less and keep me great whether I'm in a hotter or colder climate. And then Huckberry and many companies have some really great pants. I've had a chance to try out a variety of them. Two of the ones that I've really enjoyed are the Flint and Tinder 365 pant, which is basically a super nice chino. I'm a big fan of chinos in general, as I think they're really versatile. Again, the theme of trying to travel and do more with less. Chinos are great for that. I can wear this with a more casual outfit, with a dressier outfit, with boots, with sneakers. It's got a little bit of a stretch, and it just looks like a very put together, durable pant. Very comfortable, offered in a ton of different colors. Then we also have the Rover pant from Proof, like the shirt that I was just showing. This is almost like a denim, so it feels a little bit durable. It's slightly warmer than some of the other travel focused pants that I've used, and it just, you know, is a material that's gonna work well in a number of environments, hold up great. I think it looks good. It's meant to be a little bit more active. The design and the legs provide for just nice mobility, comfort. I've used this on a number of trips. And then of course you have the more technical pants. Western Rise has some of my favorites. Of all the pants that they have, I've really enjoyed all of them, but the diversion pants are the ones that I like the most. They take the look of a chino and combine it with sort of the comfort of a sweatpant. It's got a really soft sort of interior fabric, and it's one of those things you can dress up or down. It's got DWR coating, it's wrinkle resistant, you can wear it for a number of days without having to rewash it. It's got four-way stretch, so just a really fancy, cool pant. And then coming back to the merino aspect, it's not just for shirts, but also for pants. And so I've used these travel pants that are merino from Unbound Merino. They're well known for making really comfortable, high quality merino. I've used these on a number of trips, and they have felt great, even in hotter climates, colder climates. They've adapted nicely. They have a very kind of professional look when I need them to. Same as the other ones, they have a good amount of stretch. Many of these pants also have kind of hidden zippered pockets to just make them more travel friendly. You can kind of hide your wallet in there. And so really useful once you get used to traveling with these type of pants that, you know, allow you to carry less overall. It's hard to go back. And then the last thing I'll call out here is a couple of the shoes that I've really enjoyed using. Travel shoes, depending on the environment, will vary what makes the most sense. I like anything that can be multi-purpose, so that I can take into the outdoors, that I can wear for a long period of time walking around in a new city. These Vans Ultra Range that I've used a lot recently have continued to hold up. I like that they have a little bit more traction if I'm going into the outdoors, but they're very, very comfortable to wear all day. They also just have a really kind of classic silhouette. Vans shoes have been around forever, and I feel like they just blend in nicely with a variety of outfits. But I've also always been a fan of boots. And Danner and Huckberry have collaborated on a couple of different boots. I featured one of them in the Last of Us walkthrough video that I did. This is the Logger Mock. So it's got a little bit more of a sleek silhouette. It kind of blends a boot and sneaker together into an aesthetic that I absolutely love. Then you also have a leather suede upper, which is just gonna patina nicely, hold up well. You have a Gore-Tex liner to help keep your feet protected if you happen to get caught in, wetter areas, and is also going to provide some breathability. You can wear these all day. I've been wearing them for hours on end. They felt super, super comfortable. It doesn't really feel like you're wearing a boot. Then you have this Vibram outsole, which has felt fantastic. It feels like you have a ton of support, cushioning, and then great traction on the bottom, again, to keep you on your feet regardless of the environment that you're going into. I also think these just have a really sleek, kind of useful, timeless look. I've worn them with a variety of different long pants, and I absolutely love them. So great options to consider, again, if you're just looking for something kind of unique and versatile to provide to somebody that needs a pair of shoes. The pouches and organizers category can be an intimidating one because there's so many great options to pick from, sizes, form factors. So I've gathered some of the ones that I use regularly here, and I'm gonna be grouping tech pouches and toiletry bags, as they're not the same thing necessarily, but there is some overlap between the two. And in general, these pouches are useful for keeping all of your items organized, easy to grab, particularly if you're moving from bag to bag or if you're traveling. It helps prevent everything from getting kind of spread out. So I've personally enjoyed using them. I'm a big modular packer in general. I think that they're a really interesting gift, particularly for people that aren't in the EDC space. They might not be as familiar with pouches in general. So a couple of the ones that I have here that I've really enjoyed using. First up, this one from Alpaca. This is a smaller one, kind of an admin pouch here. It's got a simple zippered quick access pocket, weather resistant X-Pack fabric. Then it opens up kind of like a book, and it's just got a lot of slots. So for anybody who has tools, smaller tech items, it's not gonna be able to hold like a big power brick or anything like that. It's really meant for just smaller items that tend to get lost inside a large bag or a purse. A couple of bands, elastic slots. So a nice versatile layout there. And then the one that has been really popular as of late, which I've enjoyed using, is the Evergoods Civic Access Pouch 1 liter. This one has this magnetic flap that keeps it secure. You got a handle on the outside so you can hold it. And then it has just the ability to open up, and it's got a nice organizational layout that's not overwhelming, which is one of the things that I tend to look for is simplicity in my pouches. You have two, kind of sections essentially. They have some built-in organization, larger pockets, a couple of slip pockets, and then you have a little pen slot down the middle. This is a great one as its volume can be kind of expanding or compressing depending on what you're carrying. So it can get a little bit flatter, but adapt to bulkier items if you do want to carry those. So not for everybody, but so far it's been a really useful tech pouch for me. And then the last sort of tech specific one that I've been using is the Air standing pouch, which was released most recently. Air has a ton of different pouches that could have been included in this list, but this one has really just kind of stood out to me. When I reach for one, this is one of the ones that I go for the most. First up, because it does stand up well on its own, but I also really like that it's a little more compact, and it's got durable materials, but they're not super rigid, so it'll squeeze into a tighter area of my bag. And then the organization that it provides is minimal, but useful. So you have a couple of elastic bands for a pen or adapters, a zippered compartment for smaller items that you don't want getting lost, a couple of slip pockets that will be able to handle one of my charging blocks, and then just another zippered pocket and a nice slip pocket at the back. So not overwhelming, but just a good balance. Got a little loop here at the end so you can hang this or pull it out of your bag easily. And then on the Dopp kit front, I definitely gravitate towards smaller, simpler Dopp kits. I know that they can get pretty big, but the first one that I've used a lot over the years is this one from Mystery Ranch. They have this in a couple of different sizes, but I like this smaller one. Just a couple of see-through compartments, some bands for your pen, a razor, and then some slip pockets on the back here. It doesn't have a very rigid structure, so again, very easy to pack into a smaller bag, particularly for one bag travel. That's always something I look for. The Air travel kit has been one of the best that I've used of the past couple of years. It recently got updated, but is essentially the same layout. Air, of course, has the very durable fabrics, a couple of quick access compartments along the front and the back. I really like that it has the toothbrush stand for when you are hanging this or placing this down on the counter next to you. You have a handle, and then it opens up to reveal. Very useful layout. It's got this larger compartment here that's gonna be able to hold your liquids, a couple of elastic bands, zippered compartments, some additional bands for your toothbrush, razor, and then I like that it has a hanging hook so that when you arrive at your destination, you can just hang it up. So really nice, and again, one of the slimmer options that packs in well. The last one that I have here is the smaller wash bag from Peak Design, which was a newer option. This is the collaboration version that they did with Huckberry, but they sell this in the non-collab version. This has a hideaway hook that will also allow you to hang it up at your destination. And then you just have some really rugged fabrics, weather resistant, or to prevent spills if something happens to explode in your bag. And then you have this really cool accordion style layout that Peak Design is well known for in their pouches. So a couple of larger sections for bulkier toiletry items, zippered area here for smaller, more sensitive items, or maybe some glasses. And then you have a special compartment here that seals magnetically, and that's going to be a great spot for your toothbrush or something wet to keep separate from everything else. So this is just a small taste of the world of pouches. There's many other options. I've done reviews on a few other ones throughout the year. I've done some roundup videos. I know I have another one that I need to do soon, but if you're looking for just some interesting ideas or a place to start, these will be some solid ones to consider. For friends and family that are newer to traveling and just packing in a more organized manner, it's always fun to introduce them to the world of packing cubes. This can really transform your trips once you find a style that works well for you, as everything just has its own place, it's organized, you can really compress your clothes down, and for me it just provides a little bit more sanity when I'm trying to travel as minimally as possible. There's a ton of different brands and styles of packing cubes, but whenever people ask me my go-to recommendation, I always come back to the Peak Design packing cubes. They really just nailed so many things in this design that works well for all types of travel. So they have a couple of different sizes. You have a slightly larger one. I think this is their medium one, the small one. But this is going to be able to accommodate some of the bulkier clothes that I tend to travel with, dress shirts, pants, chinos. And then the smaller one here is great for t-shirts, underwear, socks. These are very lightweight and thin, so they don't add bulk and weight to your carry-on or travel bag, which is absolutely awesome. They have a nice handle to allow you to pull them out of the bag easily. And one of the coolest things about these is that they have the ability to compress down. To me, this is a very important aspect of packing cubes. So you load them up with all the items that you want to take with you, and you can see how much volume these actually have. And then this zipper actually does the work of pressing everything down to give you as much space as possible. These are also cool in that they have like a quick rip zipper. You can pull it open very easily to be able to access your stuff. And I don't have these even completely packed out. I just threw in some of the clothes that I might travel with, but you can see how big these actually get. And then because of their sort of flexible shape, they really compress down around everything that you might have on the inside. And then one additional bonus with the Peak Design packing cubes as well is that they have a dirty clothes pocket, which isn't common on all packing cubes. More of them are having them nowadays, but you have a separate area to store any of the items that are used that you don't want, kind of in the same area as your cleaner items. So very cool, simple. They get the job done. Again, there's a lot of different style packing cubes, so you don't have to stick to the Peak Design ones, but if you want an easy place to start and just the ones that are gonna offer the most kind of full feature set, and these are going to be awesome to take a look at. Sling bags have continued to grow in popularity as a way to carry your essentials without having to resort to a large backpack. So it's a really interesting gift idea in my opinion. There's a lot of different styles, sizes, companies that have some cool options. I have here some of the ones that would probably be my go-to recommendations if a friend was asking me, which sling bag might be best for them, or the one that I would personally gift to some of the people that I know. And so I have here the Air City Sling, the Bellroy Venture Sling, and the Evergoods Civic Access Sling. The Evergoods Sling is probably going to be my favorite just as far as the aesthetic and the layout. I really like that it works well as a sling bag and as a waist pack. It's got this large compartment on the front, provides a nice amount of space, a really comfortable back panel to give you some breathability, a reliable buckle. The Venture Sling from Bellroy is one of the most popular on the market, and rightfully so. It's got a really cool kind of rugged appearance. It's still really slim. It's offered in a couple of different sizes. So this is the 6 liter, but there's a smaller and a larger version. And it just has a really simple but useful layout. It has the ability to expand and compress depending on what you're carrying. You have a quick access pocket on the front, little lanyard, really good, reliable strap that you can fully remove. And then the Air Day Sling also comes in 2 different sizes. This is the smaller version, but they both have a similar aesthetic and layout. Like Air's backpacks, these have just an excellent build quality, a really sleek, modern aesthetic, good organization for your essentials, a lanyard, quick access pocket, a hidden zippered pocket on the back, very useful particularly for traveling. And then you have a spacious main compartment that will be able to hold some of those items that just don't fit into your pockets. A couple of slip organizers here, zippered pocket, maybe a spot for a Nintendo DS, smaller tablet. So really great. All of these don't have a ton of differences between them. It'll come down to kind of style and organizational preferences. But if you're looking to kind of get somebody into the sling game, or somebody who's looking to replace their current one, these are going to be some of the best options to take a look at. As far as gift guide categories go, backpacks is definitely the toughest one for me to narrow down and the toughest one for me to make recommendations on because there's so many different styles. I talk about that in my top 15 everyday carry bags video where, there's just so many different things to consider when it comes to an everyday backpack that people are gonna love. So for my purposes here, I chose to include some of the ones that when people ask me what's new that I've really liked using a lot, GORUCK is always one of the first brands that come to mind. They're also not as well known in the mainstream like something like a North Face, an Osprey, or a Fjallraven. That's typically what my friends and family are aware of. And when they're like, oh, what do you use as a backpack enthusiast? GORUCK is one of my default responses. And these newer bags that they've released recently, I feel like are really trending a little bit more towards something that a lot of people are gonna like. The bags like the GR1 are fantastic for carry enthusiasts, one of my favorite bags of all time, but I could see how it's not for everybody. It's a little more minimal, it's for a particular type of use case and packing style, but the M23 and the 2-compartment Bullet Ruck really start to add a lot more of the features that I think people would love in some really cool aesthetics, form factors, and with a great build quality. So I've done in-depth reviews on both of these. The M23 is the newest of the bags and probably the one that I've been using the most as of late. I absolutely love the rucksack kind of heritage style aesthetic. The fidlock buckles on the updated edition have been fantastic to use. You have, just a really kind of versatile, timeless look. And then you have some good quick access pockets along the front. On the sides, these can store a water bottle pocket, and you also have GORUCK's, really well-known harness system, sternum strap, bomb-proof laptop compartment, and then of course just a really spacious, deep main area. This is offered in 2 sizes. Both of these are actually offered in 2 sizes. I have the smaller versions of both, and so nice, simple layout on the M23, and then the dual compartment Bullet Ruck takes the layout of the GR2, which is one of my favorite bags ever, and just condenses it down into a more everyday carry friendly size. And so I have the 16-liter version here. It's offered in a 18-liter size, and this just has an excellent amount of organization with dual clamshell opening compartments. So this could be something fun and interesting to introduce people to that haven't had an opportunity to use a bag like this. So just pockets, built-in field pocket, additional organization. The ripstop nylon that both of these bags use has been great in my opinion. It's a little lighter, it's weather resistant, and also just is flexible, which I like in a bag like this. Other main compartment here, nice lining, quick access pocket at the top, and then again the bomb-proof laptop compartment. These smaller sizes are good for 14-inch laptops or so. If you have a larger device, you'd probably want to jump up to the M23 26 liter or the Bullet Ruck 18 liter. But if you're looking for something unique and durable, these are going to be awesome EDC bags to consider. And then another bag that I think would fall into the everyday category that's a little bit larger, but that I've featured in a couple of different videos this year, is the Filson Dryden. This one definitely has a much more traditional and classic kind of aesthetic and layout. So it reminds me of just a pretty simple classic backpack, but it does, you know, the basics very, very well. In addition to having the durable fabrics, it's got the 2 external water bottle pockets. It stands up well on its own, which is not that common nowadays. It has an excellent luggage pass-through, so you can rest this on a suitcase, a good companion while you're traveling. It's got a laptop compartment that's dedicated, easy to access, oriented the same direction as the luggage pass-through. And then you have a really spacious main area that's going to be great, particularly if you have students that you're trying to get a cool, reliable bag for, frequent travelers. This could also be a good work bag just with the aesthetic that it has. You have some more, you know, simple but useful organization throughout. And Filson is a brand that's known for making really durable and long-lasting products. So if you want to get a little bit of something that's different from the GORUCK bags, but that's still going to offer the durability and just the kind of timeless aesthetic that's going to hold up for many, many years, this is going to be an excellent option to consider. Jumping up from the more compact everyday carry bags, we have a couple of larger bags that can still work as an everyday carry bag. I've talked about a lot of different options in this size range throughout the year, so they come in at around 30 liters. They can be a minimal travel bag, they can still be carry-on friendly, and they can also work for everyday carry if you're a little bit taller or if you have to carry a little bit more on your day-to-day. I'll include links in the description below to some of the other options that I've talked about a lot, like the GR2, the Able Carry Max, the Air Travel Pack 3 Small. There's a lot of great options in this category. I just selected 2 of the ones that are a little newer that I used this year and that are maybe a little more unique. And so on the one hand, we have the Mystery Ranch and Huckberry Greenbelt Hybrid Backpack, which is a newer one that I've been testing out and have been really impressed by. This one, I just really love how different it looks, the pops of color, and then the overall layout just takes a lot of what I like about Mystery Ranch's bags, puts it in a little bit of a lighter, more flexible fabric, and it's just a bag that is very versatile overall. It'll be able to hold a lot of stuff. The other one that I have here is the Peak Design and Huckberry 30-liter travel backpack, which is another very useful, well-built, and versatile bag. Whether it's the Huckberry version or the regular Peak Design bag, this is a really interesting introduction into the world of minimal travel because it's got a very sleek aesthetic that's super just clean and versatile. You have 2 external water bottle pockets, a lot of handles all throughout, pretty good harness system, the luggage pass-through, so checking off a lot of the basics. And then you have a simple layout. You just have a quick access pocket at the top with some light organization and then a clamshell style opening to make it very easy to kind of stuff this out with packing cubes or whatever else you might be carrying. You also have a laptop sleeve that's going to keep your device protected. So, it keeps things fairly minimal, but, really focusing on the basics. And then a nice thing about this one is that it has the ability to expand to give you a little bit more capacity. So, that's something that's not present on that many bags, and it's always a nice surprise, particularly if you're traveling, you're out and about, and you need a little bit more capacity. So both of these, very durable, very unique. If you're looking for something to stand out, these will be great options to pursue. But as mentioned, there are a lot of other ones in this category that I'll link to in other videos below. And then the last category, of course, is travel bags. So these are a little bit larger. They're going to be great carry-on friendly companions, whether you're one bagging or if you're combining it with an additional piece of luggage. I've had an opportunity to check out a lot of great travel bag options this year. I recently did my top 10 travel backpacks of the year, if you want to check that out. I also had a great opportunity to check out a couple of awesome duffel bags, and so I have two kind of placeholders here. I would say these are the ones that when I think back on the year stand out to me a little bit more, both for just the uniqueness and how much I ended up using them. But any of the bags in the videos that I mentioned earlier are fantastic candidates. And the ones that I have here, first up is the Packed V2 travel backpack. The updates that Pack made on this edition really impressed me. I always liked the aesthetic of the bag. I was a little more torn on the split nature of the travel backpack. This is one of the most unique aspects about it, is that it opens up like a suitcase. You have the laptop compartment in the middle and then two kind of organizational areas for your clothes. Because of the updates to the layout, it felt like I was able to adapt this a little bit more to my packing style than the original. This also just provides a lot of easy access to everything that you need while you're traveling. So, you know, especially if you're not going to be using packing cubes, this is an excellent option to consider because it's kind of divided in a way where you wouldn't necessarily need them. And then you just have a really great organizational layout. These pockets have good volume. You have good internal kind of admin area, zippered pockets, slip pockets, lanyards, hidden air tag compartments. So really just a lot of amazing options. And then one of the coolest updates with the updated version is that it has the ability to expand. It has this compartment that gives it about 10 more liters and is meant to either provide additional space or combine with a packable backpack that Packed also released this year. So a lot of flexibility, really great job there. And then the harness system was also updated. This has been very, very comfortable to wear. So yeah, just a really versatile, useful bag, durable, looks great. And then on the duffel bag front, we looked at some great ones. I was excited to revisit the idea of traveling with a duffel this year, particularly if I'm traveling with a day pack. And the Evergoods Transit Duffel was a very popular item. When it was announced, I was a little uncertain on how I would feel about it, but now that I've had a chance to use it on a couple of trips, I can see why people love it so much. It doesn't go overboard as far as the features. You have a quick access pocket with some organization. You have a padded laptop area if you need something to hold your device. Some really nice carrying handles, very easy to grab. But the main compartment is really where this bag shines. You have, these buckles on the end that allow you to compress it down, and then you can open it up and just really have access to this large cavernous main area. The design here is very unique. So it opens up kind of like a doctor's bag. It's meant to stay open to allow you to easily pack and see everything that's in the main compartment. On the inside, you have a couple of organizational sections, a little zippered area for anything that's more sensitive. Then you also have an included shoulder strap, which isn't the most well padded per se, but it gets the job done. The shoulder strap system in general has been hit or miss for me, but I normally actually end up carrying it like a duffel because I love these handles so much. And then I've just been continuously impressed with how much this is able to hold at 35 liters because of the simple layout that it has. I mean, this can hold pretty much as much or more as any of the rolling suitcases that I tend to use. And it just ends up being very convenient for placing into an overhead storage compartment or for going on a road trip. It's a really great form factor, and of course you have the durable materials and minimal design that Evergoods is well known for. So if you're trying to encourage a friend or a family member to travel a little bit more, or if they're in need of a new way to carry all of their stuff for these potential trips, then these two are going to be some great options to take a look at. And so that's it. Those are some of my favorite gift ideas for 2023. Hopefully this video was helpful, and if you have any questions on the items that I featured in the video or suggestions for similar items that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And as I mentioned earlier, I'll include links in the description below to some of the other roundup videos that I've done throughout the year that have some really cool additional ideas that could work as potential gifts that I wasn't able to include in this video, but that I still really enjoyed using. And if you have any ideas for other roundup videos that I should consider doing in the new year, definitely let me know. And I want to go ahead and thank Huckberry for providing some of the gear that was featured in this video, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.